Sports venues are wonderful feats of human achievement, unless you're in Buffalo, of course. And for all of the amazing things a stadium offers, the view from the seats, the opulent scoreboards, the tasty cheerleaders, sports arenas are hiding many secrets from you, and some of them are dark. To a game and take in the sights, enjoy the atmosphere, yell some foul things at the ref, and then go home. None of that involves thinking about how such a huge operation works, what's happening behind the scenes, or how they keep huge crowds under control. Each venue is different, but here are a few secrets stadiums hide from you that maybe next time you go to a game, you might pay a little attention to, before you are 6 beers in, of course. In major events, facial recognition software is used to detect threats and find criminals. If you are a bit older, you might remember that in 2001 at Super Bowl 35 was the first time facial recognition software was used at a major US event. They claimed to have identified 19 criminals that day, and surprisingly, they let Ray Lewis still play. Since then, obviously, the threat of global terrorism has evolved and has the technology, and now facial recognition scanners are in place in many venues despite early failings of the system, which had been categorized as inaccurate. Now, though, accuracy has improved as there are several companies whose sole function is to find troublemakers and ban fans, attempt to identify terrorists, and maybe someday enhance the fan experience by allowing you to access VIP areas just by using your face. I wonder how many extra lines of code they had to include to recognize Anthony Davis. The next time you're at a venue and you see one of these, this is an infrared illuminator and it is usually close to the facial scanning cameras. Smile then, your face has been logged, so I hope you don't have any priors out on you. And despite this, lots of people still sneak in the venue without a ticket. At every sporting event, there are going to be a few, if not a lot of people who got in without a ticket. And in some cases, people can make it their life mission to sneak into not just average sporting events, but major sporting events and get very good seats without forking over a dime. Given the name Gatecrasher, these sneaky and extremely cheap people do anything but crash an event. They often use confidence, tact, and athleticism to get by stadium security easily, and often take it even further to gain access to VIP areas and more. Oliver Regis, a bartender from the UK, successfully infiltrated the Mayweather-McGregor fight by posing as a member of Mayweather's security detail, and was waved through a checkpoint without incident. From there, he got down to ringside, posing with Demi Lovato, sitting next to Mike Tyson. Amazing. Others have used forged media passes and credentials to gain access. Or you can always pretend that you are with the sound crew, but then you have to dress and act like a douche.
Check one, sibilance.
The most famous gatecrasher of them all is a man by the name of Dion Rich, who successfully infiltrated 19 straight Super Bowls, despite the NFL knowing exactly who he was and what he was trying to do. He even would get onto the field, and yes, that is him hoisting Tom Landry after Super Bowl VII. After using disguise after disguise that included wigs, fake mustaches, you name it, Rich was finally shut down when the NFL conducted a sting operation on him, and he agreed to stop sneaking in and the NFL agreed not to prosecute. In all cases, the gatecrashers said confidence is the key to sneaking in, or having balls the size of cassava melons. Non-players are paid next to nothing. When you think of the astronomical amount of money that players make, owners make, and what you spent as a law-abiding citizen can really blow your mind. But truth be told, outside of players, agents, and the owners, nobody else is getting paid. Most of the ushers and stadium workers are actually volunteers, and labor laws can be circumvented because of this. All those young, happy people running around shooting t-shirts into the crowd, oftentimes interns, and before the laws were changed regarding that, unpaid interns. And don't think that just because some staff that direct people to seats they should be able to find on their own are the only ones who get nothing. The cheerleaders and mascots make close to nothing, on average about $3 an hour. Don't let that fool you. I used to work with a girl who was a lovable, and she told me some juicy nuggets, like they get paid to do appearances for upwards of $3,000 to to 5 Gs. She also told me they had weight quotas, and if they showed up fat, they went home. She was also not attractive in any way, and I have no idea why you would think that. Speaking of attractive women, they can easily access almost any part of the stadium. Because a lot of the staff do indeed make next to nothing, they can be bribed to grant access to VIP areas, sometimes often with as little as a smile and a few bats of an eyelash. For ugly men like myself, things like a beer or simple confidence can get you to areas of the stadium, or ignored when you want to move down seats. Of course, another little secret is that in some parks there are areas that anyone can access with a ticket, like the WestJet flight deck at Rogers Arena. That is an SRO area that you can buy food, beer, and have great seats with a simple general admission ticket. Speaking of buying beers, alcohol sales aren't as expensive or restrictive as you think they are. So it's no secret you aren't typically allowed to bring in food or alcohol into the stadium, and again, Bills fan, you usually walk in filled to the brim with both. But at some arenas, alcohol sales aren't as restrictive. At Amalie Arena, where the Lightning play, they sell official 24-ounce beers outside of the stadium in the plaza, and if you try to bring them in, security simply asks if you bought them here, and you just say yes, and you walk your happy ass in there and get shit-faced until you start a fight with another fan. Even better, if you love shitty beer like Bud Light, you can buy those at 7-Eleven for half the price and just bring those in and sing Sweet Caroline even when the damn song isn't being played. Because alcohol, bitches. And now for the dark secrets. Some stadiums built on landfills may expose players and fans to toxins. Landfills provide something stadium engineers love: cheap, flat land that nobody wants. Many stadiums from the past were built on landfills, including Comiskey Park in Chicago, Mile High Stadium in Denver, and Giant Stadium in New Jersey. And amazingly, First Energy Stadium in Cleveland is also an active landfill. You had to see that coming. In most cases, building on a landfill had harmless consequences, like when Luke Appling stepped on a copper kettle in the infield near second base at Comiskey Park. But it was well rumored something might have been in the air at the old Giant Stadium when 4 players got cancer during the 80s, though other factors could have contributed to it. MetLife Stadium was built on the same land, but I'm not sure if locker room cancer is a side effect from that, though. Nearby Citi Field is also built near a landfill, and numerous college stadiums that are heated by landfill gas are also active. And finally, the turf on the field could be dangerous to you. In lieu of natural grass, many fields have opted for this new field turf that you see that uses synthetic grass and rubber pellets to simulate the give that dirt and soil allow for. Unfortunately, a lot of these pellets are made from ground up tires, lots of which have been exposed to toxins and carcinogens that can get up and into open wounds and cause major health problems. In fact, cancer became so prevalent in Washington state among goalies that CNN even did an article on the subject, and studies as recent as 2013 have concluded there are actual risks to playing on field turf. So if you are an athlete or decide to crash the field after you drank too many 24-ounce beers, be sure to not let the rubber pellets get into an open wound. Or if you play for the Saints, stay upright. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like, comment, or subscribe, and do not forget to download the FanDuel app and use my code Touchdown87. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video.